I had to try a leap. I've always wanted to take the leap. So that's why, this is the closest thing I could do. um, yeah, thank you for having us again. I have to ask my first question. What does it mean to you, really being an Asian male leading this legendary series 30 years after the original ended and was famously led, of course, by a mostly Caucasian cast? Yeah.
Just on a human level, this is it's a great big deal for myself. Like without being too self-important, it's something that I've personally worked towards, and I'm very happy for the opportunity. I see it as a great responsibility that I've been preparing for, and yeah, all of it's just very exciting. And it's impossible to follow up Scott Bakula, and that original series will live in everybody's hearts and minds. But here we are trying to do a version of it that is our own version. And, we have a great script, we have an incredible team. And so I defer to them, and I defer to all of our great expertises in our own fields to make this the best show possible.
Wonderful. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a direct continuation of the original show, correct?
In a sense, yeah. It's 30 years in the future after it got lost into the ether.
I have to ask, being that this is kind of a continuation of the original story, the original ended very infamously with one of the most depressing endings in history, in television history, because Sam never returns home. So I have to ask, 30 years later, how is it a good idea to continue this experiment when it went so wrong?
Well, there must be some sort of selfish benefit to it, possibly on Dr. Ben Song's behalf, or there could be a larger issue at play that perhaps Ziggy informs them of that might require access to the quantum accelerator to use its powers for something. Yeah, and Deborah Pratt, who is one half of Quantum Leap, she was very smart. That was actually her suggestion to leave Dr. Sam Beckett out there, because a story like this can't end. It has to pick up at some point, and we're very, very happy that it's picking up now.
I'm really glad that it's picking up now. I wanted closure on that, so we might be able to get it. That's what I kind of like.
And it'll just continue on forever.
Well, hopefully the same fate doesn't necessarily happen to Ben, because we like Ben a lot, and we like Sam a lot too. But losing two of them would suck. But yeah. One of the things that made the original so brilliant was this absolutely wonderful chemistry between Scott and Dean. The Sam and Al dynamic. Can you talk about your chemistry with Caitlin and Ben and Addison?
Yeah,
and how it compares. Yeah,
I mean, in the first one it was a bromance, and this one's very much a romance. The dynamic shift is very necessary for this time and age, and we would hate to want to redo what they have already done and perfect it in a sense. So for us, we're dealing with new relationships, and it's a new time, and it's hard. Relationships, much like everything else that technology has gotten in the way of, have become more complicated. And this is like the ultimate long distance relationship, and trying to forge some sort of connectivity there is virtually impossible. And we're navigating those waters together. And one person remembers the relationship as if it was yesterday, and the other does not remember it at all. And so how does one work as their guide to keep them from dying, but also work from a place of love in a very specific way? So yeah, it's a very much more layered dynamic this time around.
I love that. You also get the opportunity to work with the great Ernie Hudson. What was that like? Did you guys geek out about Ghostbusters at all?
I'm constantly having to not geek out. I mean, it's when he was first even presented to us as like, we're out to Ernie. I'm like, oh my God, what is that even going to be like? And he has been just such like, he's a very warm guy, and he's got loads of experience under his belt. So he's got such a gravitas and an energy to him that is so essential for not only this character but for us as a group. You know, this is my first time leading a show. It's Caitlin's first time being such a significant, playing a significantly large role, and sometimes we defer to his expertise to just really ground us. So it kind of life reflects art a lot in that way, and Ernie is our anchor.
Got it. Yeah, when you need a mentor, who are you going to call, right? So
Oh, nice.
yeah, did you get to use the or at least say "oh boy" at all during this series?
There is a version of that. I can't say those words. I can't. This is someone else.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, Raymond, it was an absolute pleasure. I can't wait for people to see Quantum Leap in September. I think this is a show that we need right now because A, we do need closure on what happened with Sam, maybe, and B, such a fun show. We need more stuff like this on the air, especially with amazing Asian stars like you in the lead. So thank you so much for your time.
Couldn't have said anything better. Thank you so much for your time.
In the lectures, fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me